everyone, and welcome back to the Clock Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day wherever you are around the world, and welcome back yet again to. I want to say more news, but it's not. We're not talking about news in tonight's episode. Of course, we are a little bit at the beginning part, but of course, we are certainly going to be taking a look at who could potentially replace Jordan Henderson and Fabinho this summer. Of course, obviously the news, and we'll go back through it in due course on all the news concerning Jordan Henderson and Fabinho. Anyway, and of course, let us know your guys' thoughts on who you think could be coming in. Who would you like to be coming in as well, and of course, any other bits and pieces that I have missed, then let me know. Let me know in the comments. Sorry, of course, but as you can see, I'm joined by a very special guest, Jack from the Anfield Road TV. Jack, how you doing, mate?
How are we, lads? Yeah, all good. Busy day for everyone, really. Yeah, bit of a mad one. Obviously, was watching your video today, and it's going to be an interesting 48 hours to say the least. Anyway, in relation to outgoings at a football club, a lot can probably might even change as we are on air tonight, mate. But yeah, nice one for having me on, mate. Always a pleasure, and yeah, hope you well.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Let's get into the chat before we do recap the news, of course, concerning both Fabinho and Jordan Henderson. Barry's in saying, mad few days ahead. Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's going to be a roller coaster of a few days for Liverpool. Szoboszlai was bought to replace Henderson as well. Very possibly, mate.
Potentially.
I think, yeah, I think obviously it's a real possibility, and I think judging from the early clips in pre-season, that Klopp is very much moulding him in straight away anyway. But again, time will tell. Anyway, where's my invite, lads? As well. It's probably your bedtime now, Luke, in about 5 minutes.
And especially if it's Ricky as well. He got off the PS party as well when I literally just finished with the lads with Dave. And I was like, where's Ricky, lad? No.
Texting us always. If you want to come on, then let me know,
Yeah.
and I will send you an invite.
Can't send the invite out anyway,
Yeah,
so
just let me know, and I will send a link. And obviously, Luke, I hope you're both good fellas. Hopefully,
hope you're well, lad. All good.
Well, Luke, as well. But of course, we will. Of course, we will dive straight into the news with Fabinho and Jordan Henderson, of course. Potential moves to Saudi Arabia, starting with Fabinho, of course. And again, I apologize for pronunciations. I said this earlier on as well. But Letihad, I think it is, set to make a concrete bid to sign Fabinho from Liverpool for £40 million. Expected to develop fast, one way or the other. Key issue for Liverpool is letting a number 6 go without a replacement, but working on this. Romeo Lavia among multiple options. And of course, with Jordan Henderson as well. Of course, Fabrizio Romano saying that a deal had been agreed. Obviously, personal terms have been agreed with Jordan Henderson. And of course, the deal was now depending on the both clubs for a transfer fee. And of course, Jurgen Klopp giving the green light for the transfer. Of course, Melissa Reddy, of course, adding to the fact that Liverpool are looking for more than £10 million that was spoken about on social media as well. And of course, Dave O'Carpel, that's been on top of the whole situation, saying that El Atifak said that we'll walk away from the Jordan Henderson deal if Liverpool ask for the reported £20 million fee. And of course, it's just as we was about to come on air, Dave now reporting that Etifak has called their interest in Jordan Henderson. For now, a deal is still possible, but the Saudi side hope to get Henderson on a free or a normally fee anyway. But Jack, just the news as a whole. Obviously, Fabinho, it does look like Fabinho is very much done, or could be more or less done. I think obviously if all the trackers out there, I think Fabinho's wife has followed the same account as what Bobby's wife followed, of course, in terms of Saudi Arabia and so on, of course. And yeah, there's been, I think, news outlets more out in Saudi Arabia saying Fabinho is done, but more on Jordan Henderson as well. The fact that the club is not willing to pay £20 million for Hendo. Are you shocked by that, or do you think that again it could just be a tactic to potentially get the transfer fee a bit further down?
It's a bit of bluff, really, mate. And I think the most difficult thing is obviously David Ornstein did obviously bring up a couple of hours ago was and Fabrizio as well, saying that the deal, well, personal terms have more or less been agreed by Henderson. But it's just about a little bit of poker anyway. I was going to say, send the links to the lads if you can, there, mate, as well.
Yeah, well, no.
Yeah, in terms of that, mate, I think it will be interesting, and we all wish Fabinho all well and good. I think the fact that we're getting 40 million for Fabinho at this current moment in his career, considering the 12-month period in which he has had at the football club, it was a very difficult period. But yeah, it's going to be interesting in relation to Henderson. I think, especially if he's already agreed in principle, by all accounts, if you listen to all the well-respected journalists, then I think that was the most difficult selling point, really, for for the obviously Steven Gerrard's club anyway. So yeah, it's probably a game of chess, really, from both sides. I think Liverpool are hoping to probably get what they spent on Jordan, and in relation to the money in which they would save in the next 2 years, considering the outlay on wages as well. Let's not forget that. It might be offset potentially. It just depends how much desperation there is from the camp of Jordan Henderson to potentially join up with Steven Gerrard and obviously their new football club as well. So it's going to be very interesting. I think it will be a story that will quickly develop over the next couple of hours anyway. But you can understand where it's coming from, mate. Obviously, we're speaking to Dave and before as well, and in relation to Henderson, I think, or the charity work in which he does do. Obviously, there's been disgruntlement, and rightly so as well, in terms of the campaigns in which he's led. But I think for me, and chat is, I look at it as in relation to what he can do if he is to get 600 or whatever, a massive chunk of wages per week. It's what he can do post his career as well, mate. He's got to look after his family, look after the next 20 generations of his family line as well. So it's and he'll do wonders with that money as well for potential charities and all the campaigning in which you could potentially do in the future years to come as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the rumored contract fee, I think at the moment has been going around. I think it's around 33 million a year, which I think works out around 700,000 or 600,000 pound per week. And I think you are right in terms of, again, it's life changing money. Again, obviously, I know that people go, oh, it's footballers, this, that, and the other. But again, when you are talking, huge amount of money,
Fifth. I think was it me and Kev spoke about it. The fifth, I think I say that, man. The fifth highest paid football in world football, if he was to accept that contract. That is not just a statement to Europe, but in terms of the Saudi teams as well, if they were to pay that big money, but they are getting a leader. But it's mad. It's crazy money, mate. Yeah.
It's crazy money. I think more so though on Fabinho. I think, judging from a few pieces that have come out, I think that that's more or less done now. And I think obviously we'll speak about it more in a little bit. But I think that obviously, I think it's a bit of a 50-50 situation with Fabinho, because I think you can look at it at two sides. You could go, okay, last year was very much a blip in terms of the Fabinho that we know, and the Fabinho that we all know and love. But it could have been the start of the decline. That all of us were looking at. And I think, of course, for me personally, I would have liked to have given him a season, probably, to see what he could have done in the new style and the new system for Liverpool. But I think, again, everyone's under the same, under the same caution of terms of, Liverpool can't be turning down 40 million pounds, for Fabinho. And I think, in my opinion, I don't know if you think as well, Jack, I think Liverpool could definitely sign a high caliber player for that, even if Henderson wasn't to go and it was just Fabinho. I think we could then sign an A-class DM in that aspect. I know that we're talking about obviously Romeo Lavia, and obviously I know a lot of people do like Lavia, but I do think that if Fabinho was to go for 40 million plus, I think Liverpool can look at maybe a step forward where you need a starting DM instead of a young prospect like a Bicetic, for example, or even a Lavia coming in as well. But are you under the same caution with Fabinho in that situation, or do you think that if Lavia was to be brought in, it would just be maybe rotation between him and Bicetic?
I'd hope it was a more senior figure as well on top of Lavia, mate, because Fabinho was probably on everyone's list as a probably potential starter for Liverpool in terms of that midfield alongside, whether that be Bicetic, Trent in that six in a 3-box 3 formation. But I think it's, as you said, that we've more or less recouped the money that we've got, that we signed them for all those years ago. Was it 5, 6 years ago with the football club? And we've got the best years out of Fabinho. He's only going to obviously deteriorate in terms of the performance level. So, yeah, I think it makes excellent business sense. And especially Liverpool can't be passing up this opportunity, really, of the financial point of view. That's an element of Liverpool's game in recent seasons as where we've really struggled in terms of not selling the players when needs be as well, in terms of getting that money back. As much as it's still a business at the end of the day, the fact that we let Naby's contract run down, I know he was injury hit, but a player that you did spend 50, 60, 70 odd million on, and then you just letting him walk out the football club for nothing is very much sheer neglect, from a strategic point of view as well, mate. But yeah, I'm hoping it does change, and bids do come in. Because you look at it with certain players that have been bid, in terms of Premier League as well, mate. Koulibaly, I think he did get quite a big fee as well. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting period. But I think if Liverpool can start selling well and obviously invest in that in more higher caliber players, then it's only going to make Liverpool much more stronger as well. In all honesty, mate.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Anyway, I'm just gonna quickly read out a Fabrizio Romano quote that's just come out. It says the agreement between again, apologies, chat, if I do butcher the team's name, Atafaki, I think it is, and Henderson is done. Klopp told him outright he could leave because game time was limited. Meeting today went positive, but was told he could leave the club. So, again, just reiterating what's already been said, I think, realistically. Yeah. But again, I think that's the big one for me, though, Jack, is in terms of Henderson. I think I said it earlier on in the show as well.
We've been saying it for weeks, and I think every Liverpool fan has for donkeys, really, going into the season, Con and chat. Like, we all knew for a while that Milner, well, as soon as Milner went and left the football club, Henderson would have been that new James Milner. And you're going to tell me that Henderson would have been happy? He would have been having a laugh. Like, he would have been extremely frustrated, but he's got to accept where he is at the stage of his career now, in terms of he's not the Jordan Bryan Henderson that used to be running up the pitch, up and down, in terms of, obviously, in terms of his technical ability. It wasn't always there, but he could still do a job, and that workhorse mentality of a midfield. And hence, you look at the sheer drop-off. That last season, the first game of the season, when we just got absolutely outrun by Fulham, we literally got outrun by the majority of every team, apart from when Everton come to Anfield. Like, it is, quite frankly, embarrassing. But as you alluded to with Szoboszlai, he's an absolute bloody athlete. He is a runner. He is a machine. He's one of those perfect type architectural players that Liverpool have brought in anyway. Tongue tight. So many bloody streams today, Jess. So
I can't talk anyway. Don't worry. I speak gibberish, not English.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, mate. And we wish him well, and I'm hoping if he is to go, mate, and it gets officially announced, Liverpool at least do some big announcements. I don't want to be seeing a video on social media. I want to be seeing Anfield packed to the rafters. Like, even if you give it 24 hours, told everyone to get to Anfield, free entry, or like a ticketing system where you can turn up and say goodbye. And Hendo thanks all the fans in the stadium as well, because that's the only possible way I'd love to see him go out at Liverpool. Especially if Liverpool can get a good fee for him as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, just going more off of Fabrizio Romano at the moment, of course. Apparently, the Saudi club thought that they could get him for 10 million, and Liverpool went no. Like, double it, and sure, you might be able to get it, but yeah, no, it's going to be I think a long, not drawn out one. I think Liverpool want to get it resolved as soon as possible, but Liverpool are no pushovers neither. Of course, Liverpool are probably willing to negotiate potentially on a transfer fee, because they know Jordan Henderson wants to go, and I think if he did stay, of course, we know Hendo is totally professional. We know that 100%. But I feel like if he's already agreed and his mindset has already gone, okay, I'm going, going to leave the club. His mindset's not at the club. And again, I'm not saying that in a bad way, but that, if the season goes a little bit more, not like what he did last year, but struggling a little bit, that then
and he's not getting in the team.
It
will
teethed
be
into the team, and I think that could be a big factor for us next season when, of course, if we are struggling, or of course he isn't getting into the team. It's that talker mentality.
If they're paying 700k a week, lads, they've got money. And I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, they're not backed by the PIF or whatever they're called, in terms of the Saudi state government. Like they are one of them, like the cheaper skin teams in the Saudi league. Probably got more money than the majority of Premier League teams down the bottom anyway. But if they're willing to pay 700k, Liverpool will probably like, you are. Like you've probably seen the contract that they've offered to Henderson, and went, you want him on a free, you can go jogging on really. Because I tell you now, if Sunderland come in or like another team, like there's always going to be opportunities, especially if Henderson has put out the feelings really about his wanting and willingness to get more first team opportunities. There'll be a lot more Premier League teams, for example, coming in for him. And I'd certainly anticipate, I know Sunderland missed out on promotion, but I can certainly say if Sunderland's got any whiff, obviously couldn't pay the wages that he'd wanted, but he could definitely command the first team spot and look to get Sunderland or another team in England, and probably get into the majority of certain teams outside the top 10 teams in the Premier League as well, miss.
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, let us know your guys' thoughts. Luke and Doug, I have sent you the links on Twitter.
Luke's probably fell asleep, loss.
Probably. Wig saying the lads as well. Lads, I spoke about this earlier. I need to know. Says Wiggs. He says we thought Lavia was going to be an understudy to Fab. With Fab maybe going, does that mean we'd be happy with Lavia being the main DM? Because I wouldn't be. We have to buy higher quality if Fab goes. Yeah, I would agree 1,000%. Wiggs, I think that's what Liverpool need to do. Yeah. We need we need a starter in the team, and look. If Henderson does stay, then it might be a double pivot of Henderson and Trent to begin the season off, or maybe...
I can just already hear Twitter going off.
No, I know, but it's either that or Bicetic, because, again, whoever we do bring in, it might take a couple of weeks for them to bed themselves in. It isn't like a McAllister that has been known since July and things like that. Of course, Liverpool wasn't expecting this probably. I think obviously Jurgen Klopp did fully expect to have Fabinho and Jordan Henderson for this season, but of course, like I think we just said earlier on, if the option is there to go and look for a Category A signing, then hopefully Liverpool will go on and do it. Anyway, fingers crossed. But after Kevin's in saying, "Oh, great, the Chuckle Brothers." Yes, we are the Chuckle Brothers.
We're better than Chuckle Brothers. It is that is Kev, by the way, as well.
I know that is Kev.
Yeah, it is Kev.
You don't even need to tell me it's Kev. I know by the freaking green balloon freaking comment that's in the chat. But if we replace Henderson and Fabinho with Tchouaméni and Lavia, I take that. I'll take it. Says Zane as well. Good seeing you, Zane, as well. Hopefully doing well, mate. I was guessing, hey, you guys in the green balloon. Anyone? I'm gonna ban you, Kev. That's what
put him on timeout. There we go.
Yeah,
there we go. Wiggs just find out now the chat is gonna. Yeah, Wiggs knows Kev's banter anyway. So good.
Don't worry, Wiggs. We'll ban him later on.
You need to make. I could make Wiggs a mod now and then put Kevin timeout. Get Wiggs to put in timeout.
Wiggs, if you'd like to be a mod as well, let us know,
just let us know
in the chat. But 50 mil will get it done. He really wants to leave. Liverpool won't play too much hardball with this. As Barry, I would agree. I think it will be Liverpool won't want to disrespect Jordan Henderson, and Jordan Henderson would want to disrespect Liverpool as well. So I think 15 million for Jordan Henderson, I think is pretty reasonable. I know some people are like, oh, Liverpool could go and get 30 mil, probably at the push.
Yeah, you said, as I said as well, you're spot on there, Barry. It probably will be that fee when it can, but like you look at the contract, he still had 2 years left on his. Well, if he doesn't go, he's still got 2 years left on his current deal, Hendo. So you've got to take that off the books if you were to sell him as well. Don't know what the outlay. Chat, let us know. The outlay would have like the fees in which we will be saving. Of course, if you're bringing in players coming in. But I think Hendo's on 150, 200, close to 200k as well, given the club captain. So he'll be on a sizable chunk of money. So that's potentially his wages there. And obviously the outlay over 2 years would potentially go towards another player or even free up fees for any potential other transfers, mate.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I think that because I think you do look at it. I think Neil Jones spoke about it earlier on the fact that Liverpool were willing to go 35 million for Lavia. If you add another 40 million to that, again 75.
It's a high-profile player, like
Yeah.
Saicedo or Chouameni. Like, what you're thinking about in terms of obviously the situation surrounding Real Madrid? Everyone knows whether it be this summer or whether it be January or will it be next summer where he leaves on a free. Do you think that would play a detrimental impact in terms of any potential outgoings at Real Madrid in terms of freeing up finances? We know they're not skint Real, but if a situation did arise where Real Madrid potentially might sell one or two to finance a big money move like Jude Bellingham. Obviously, they've already bought Jude Bellingham, but on top of that, Kylian Mbappe as well.
Yeah, I'll answer that in a quick second. Let me just bring in a moment anyway. Hello.
All right, lad. Have you got out of bed, lad?
I literally just like I literally was getting ready to go, and then I see Connor went live, and I was like, "Oh, let me come on for a little bit." But thanks, let me come on, mate. I know, made a mistake now. Thanks, let me come on, mate.
You know, I can ban you anytime. Wait, what? No, just to answer your question, Jack. I do think one of the midfielders is going to go.
Might get sacrificed or something.
I think that because you do look at that Madrid team, I think they missed the trick with Benzema. I think in terms of getting a fee for him, they would have saved loads of money, I think, on wages and so on. But you do look at that midfield and you think, of course, they can't play everyone, and that's all you hear summer upon summer is, you know, Valverde's available, or, you know, again, Camavinga. I think if he does end up back at the left back this summer or this season, I should say, I think that he'll probably be a bit frustrated in terms of not getting into that Real Madrid midfield. But I think, look, if Liverpool did go in with an offer, let's say 80, 90 million, and went, right, you know, that's, you know, what we're willing to pay, they might bite at it because of Mbappe as well. But I do think it's a bit impossible with Tchouaméni because, you know, it's been 12 months since he's left to go to Real Madrid. I think if any midfielder is going to be going for, you know, a fee, I think it most likely will be Valverde more than anyone. But then in saying that, Valverde, Madrid thinks that he's unbelievable. He is unbelievable, but I just think it's hard at the minute to go to Real Madrid. Even if we give you 100 million, they'd say yes because it's Madrid in that way anyway. But look, what's your feeling on that as well? Do you think it could very much be you could get somebody out of Real Madrid if you put the money right, or do you think something else?
Possibly. I think even when Tchouaméni, for example, I think when we went in for him last summer, I did think that he was interested, but obviously he wanted the Real Madrid move. He made that, you know, perfectly clear. He did turn around and say that, you know, Liverpool are a great club and, you know, that he was interested. But obviously when Real Madrid come calling, it's a foregone conclusion, really. So to be honest, I don't think it's out of the question, in all honesty. I do think that there is potential avenues out of it. If Real Madrid feel that he's still a player for the future and they can't get him game time at the moment, there could be an idea where he could come on loan for a season. There could be an idea where, you know, Liverpool, and to be honest, they might sort of test Real Madrid's bit of patience. Like they might even put down the 70 to 75 million pound to turn around and say, right, we want to buy the player, because I think that's how much Real Madrid bought him for. Was it slightly more? I'm not entirely sure of the actual fee, but
I think it was 84 mil.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's out of the question, and I think Liverpool need to show a bit of intent as well, because, you know, seeing that Fabinho is pretty much done, Henderson, I know there's been reports saying that, you know, they called off a little bit, but I still think they'll come in for him with a different proposal. If Liverpool are going to potentially lose their captain, vice captain, and on top of that, you know, there's still rumours around Thiago as well, Liverpool need to make a big statement signing, and I think Tchouaméni might be an option. So I don't think the Valverde one's an option, in all honesty. I don't think Real Madrid will let him go. But yeah, we need to do something. Like, otherwise, we could be in a. But me and Ricky were talking earlier with Ben on our one, and we said about if it's Lavia and Bajcetic in the 6 all season, we're going to struggle, because really you're going to give, you know, two very young players with a, you know, no, it's not nothing against them, but very well inexperienced. You're going to be coming up against teams like, you know, Manchester City, Manchester United, you know, and like they're going to make mistakes. and the fan base are just going to be on them all the time, and they're just going to be like criticising them. It's going to knock their confidence. I think Liverpool need to really go in the market and spend big on a 6 if they're allowing Fabinho just go. To be fair, I'd snap your hand off for 40 million though. In all honesty,
I think that's the thing, and I think we said earlier. I think everyone has said it as well. I think it's an impossible bid to turn down. More than anything, I think, again, if you're going to get back exactly what you paid for him 5-6 years ago, again, that's brilliant business. I think in that regard, I think the more concerning thing, and of course we got a couple of names that we're going to probably speak about in a moment, but obviously we've already spoken about Tchouaméni, but in terms of DMs, there isn't really that high caliber DMs available. There's only 2-3 available this summer. Obviously, I know that Caicedo is one. Obviously, as Jack likes to say, my boy Florentino Luis is there as well. But my boy. Jack,
I've got my one as well. I've got Barella, so like.
Oh, you love him.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of one. I'm trying to think of one for me. I don't really know.
Jay Spearing.
Jay Spearing. Yeah, I'll stick with him.
He's his Ginny. There we go.
Oh yeah, he's his Ginny. Yeah.
Ginny without him.
We need to. I think we're trying to find a different or Genie 2 or 3.0. I think we was trying to. Last year it was Curtis Jones, and Curtis Jones has come quite good second half of the season. I'm trying to find if there's someone in the Liverpool squad that we can give it to Rick and say, there you go. Well, there's your Genie 3.0.
I think he already said Curtis Jones. I think he said earlier on in the group chat that he was.
And then I give him a new birthday card to Curtis on.
No, I want to buy him. Do you want those like Genie Wijnaldum shirts that just like all his face, like, all over the shirt? That's what we should get him. But obviously, I think with Lavia being the main, obviously the main target this summer for the DM role, do you think that Luke? Obviously, Chelsea haven't got Caicedo, tied down yet, and that's taken a while. I know that I think listening to a few Chelsea supporters, they were saying that it's a slow process at the moment with Brighton because Brighton are not happy in terms of the fee up front. I think that was getting reported by. But do you even think Liverpool could even sneak in there at the last minute and try and get Caicedo, or do you think that it is done for Chelsea?
I mean, if you've spoken to Yusuf as a Chelsea fan, then obviously that's what
the best Chelsea IT.
Oh yeah, the best in the know, of course. Yeah. No, I think Caicedo would be a Chelsea player. In all honesty, he's said a lot about them over the last few days, hasn't he? Saying that it would be a dream move for him. Not even just a football club, for a lot of players obviously get attracted to the place where it is as well. He'll want to move to London as well. London for a lot of players is an attraction, of course. I think he knows by going into a club like Chelsea, especially with the midfield options that they've got at the moment, I think he knows that he would be one of the star players there as well, which might attract him a bit more. And I think Chelsea have got that bit more of an attraction at the moment in terms of, I'm not comparing it to Liverpool because obviously it's Jurgen Klopp, but I mean comparing to last season, no disrespect. Obviously Graham Potter's a good coach, but I don't think he's a coach that is potentially going to take him to the next step. They've now got, Mauricio Pochettino, who it will put Chelsea into sort of the right step within the next couple of years. I think they're going to be up there. I think Caicedo is a foregone conclusion. I think he'll be a Chelsea player. I think Liverpool will look at Lavia. Hopefully, we'll still look at Colwill, depending if Chelsea may let him go or not. That would annoy Yusuf a little bit, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, Luke, or I was throwing another name into the hat. I mentioned it on me. Well, the chat mentioned it to me. Declan Rice, last minute deal for him.
No,
I know he's already met the press. Could you imagine if Liverpool come in with a £1 bid over what has been accepted?
Could you?
And Hendo's got on the blower and went, yeah, Declan, I'm leaving, but if you want to turn up,
Stan Kroenke comes out and goes, "What they smoking over at Anfield?"
There we go.
Yeah, I'd love Declan Rice at Liverpool. I think for the last 2 years I've watched him. I think he's been an unbelievable player. He suits Liverpool down to the ground, but no, he's an Arsenal player, and it's done.
Yeah, no, I like.
It's a bit mad that it's not been announced though, boys.
Yeah.
Just yet. I don't understand why it's not.
They're waiting on. It's Arsenal trying to pay it off in installments, and there's loads of different things that they're trying. There's loads of different. My brother was giving me like about a 4-month essay. Literally, I was like
breaking down.
just give me 3 lines, literally what I can read. But my brother goes in one of our group chats we've got. My brother literally just puts out this essay. It's pretty much put it this way, like all of your comments into one. That's pretty much like my brother's essay. That's what it is. So try reading that basically at your will.
But Jack, do you think that they obviously I mentioned a few DMs in terms of Saicedo, Florentino Luis, Lavia. In terms of numbers now for Liverpool, like we've heard from Liverpool, reliable journalists saying that 1 had to go to be able to get Lavia in. If 2 went, of course, you would think 2 would come in that regard. But for you, is it Liverpool getting 2 clear DMs? Because I think Lavia, I think Liverpool would certainly like Lavia to come in to the club and a top DM as well. But do you think that Liverpool need a number 8 on the right-hand side and a DM, or do you think that it is just solely 2 DMs that should be coming into the club?
I'd say we've already brought a player that can play DM as well. Let's not forget McAllister. He's very versatile, can play in the 6, can play in the 8, and can play in the 10. But obviously, we're probably going to play him as an advanced 8 or an advanced 10 anyway in our system. But I'd certainly say two 6s or 1 6 that can play the 6 or the 8. But a specialist number 6, as Luke alluded to before, is paramount really for Liverpool. And of course, another centre half that is ideally left-footed. But is very versatile, can play on the left, can play on the right as well if needs be, in terms of a flat back 4 formation as well if needs be. But yeah, certainly, I think the wages, I think Liverpool, as the lads have already said in the chat tonight and everyone on their shows, is probably have been caught off guard in relation to Fabinho. I don't think in our wildest dreams, I think all of us probably potentially looked at Fabinho and said, could we get a bit of money? And we all joked about it off a Saudi club. But it's come true. Like we've been saying it for the last couple of weeks. But yeah, I'd say 2 midfielders, 2 6s really, and then a centre half ideally, mate.
Yeah, no, I think most people will be like, look, do you think that one guy's name that's obviously massively linked towards Liverpool in Kefran Turam? Do you think that he could very well be on Liverpool's list yet again, or do you think that door is fully closed for this summer?
I want to say no, but I actually think the door's closed. I think Liverpool would have got the deal done. I think at some point a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, I could be wrong. I think Liverpool could maybe. I think the money that we're going to get for Fabinho, the money potentially that we could get from Henderson, if there's still money in the bank as well to add to that, then Liverpool could maybe potentially go back in that market. But I don't know. I think there's just so many more names that are being flown about. And the thing is with Liverpool is, as we all know, that there's names that will fly around. McAllister, obviously, everyone pretty much knew it was done. But no one spoke about Szoboszlai. No one spoke about him. And then on the day it happened, it was like, oh, yeah, there's a buyout clause. So then obviously that's when everyone knew. I think Liverpool can do the exact same thing. I think we talk about Lavia. We talk about, as you said, Thuram. We talk about, some other midfielders like Tchouaméni, for example. I think Liverpool are going to go in the market somewhere again and just do something out of the unexpected. But hopefully, I mean, just going back to your question, I think the Thuram door potentially is shut.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I think that, well, as we said there, what about Kimmich? I wouldn't personally like Kimmich. I think he's watching Bayern a few times last season. If we complained about Liverpool's midfield, Kimmich was awful.
Even Goretzka were getting ran through like it's a train.
Yeah. The one good thing you've got with Kimmich, if Kimmich was ever available, he could potentially play right back as well. So like you've got that option with Trent as well. You could versatile both of them. But I think it's not Klopp's style, is it? Like to bring a player in that.
Would he be too old for you, Luke? For me, I'm looking at his age now. He's 28. Just turned 28 in February. So I think
Thiago vibes, isn't it?
Yeah, I want to see a 20. I want to see like a 22 to 25-year-old, or if it's a youngster as well, someone that can come in. Florentino Luis, as you mentioned, Con, he's 23 years old. He's at the perfect age. You look at like this phase 2 of Liverpool, which it is, like this like group of players. They're all at very similar ages, and I'd like to see a similar age profile, but you never know. We've lost, as you alluded to there before, Luke, we've lost a lot of experience. So potentially, but I think his valuation at the minute is in around 75 million euros. They wouldn't let him go for cheap, but for me, yeah, I'd like a bit more of a younger midfielder mainly, because if you're going to be paying 80 million, you want at least a good 5 to 10 years at least out of a player, in all honesty.
I mean, this is going to sound this is going to sound a bit weird, but we have, as you said, mate, and I agree with you. We've lost a lot of experience. If Henderson goes, obviously Milner's gone. Fabinho, and potentially Thiago could still be at the door as well. We don't know with that. You've got to look at. I know he had a lot of injuries, but even Oxlade-Chamberlain's got a vast of experience as well. So you're looking at like 5 to potentially 6 players that Liverpool have just allowed to go, and think, next season, even though we've brought in McAllister, we've brought in Szoboszlai, I'm hoping we do bring in a couple more. Next season could potentially be a first half of the season again, could be like a rebuild. We've just got to be patient with it. And a lot of Liverpool fans straight away are going to think, we've spent 120, 130 million, for example, on players. Why have they not settled straight away? Why have they not sort of hit the ground running? Liverpool, it could take a season where we're again rebuilding under this new system, under these new players. Szoboszlai could take 10, 15 games like Fabinho. Remember, Fabinho wasn't even in the starting 11 first.
Robbo as well. Yeah.
Robertson as well, as you said. McAllister, I think, is the only one that you could say would come in and start the job quite well, considering obviously he's played in the Premier League. But we've had players come in and it's taken them time, so we've got to remember that as well as fans. We've got to remember it could take a particular time frame for these players.
It's not career mode. I think that's always the best thing.
Improve their growth.
What was it? Get a rating up, boys.
He's had a good training session. So
after 2 games and Rick's calling them shit. Literally, I can't wait.
We'll place our bets, boys. We'll have a tally on the wall.
I'm going to put a tally up on how many times he calls a player pot. When we're watching a game and then halfway through the first half, he'll message me and he'll go, there's no creativity. We're not good enough. We're not progressive. It's like, I'm going to guess I'm going to play it how many times.
The best was last season about Jones, and then what does he do? Steps up, scores 2 goals against Leicester, and that. So it's I had that thing with Bobby though. When Bobby was having a bad game, and I was messaging all the lads I know you're using that. I'd message you and go, not rag him off, but get him off, and then he'd always score. I think it helps. He must hear me. Well, you never know. But I'm excited for this season, boys. I'm honestly excited. Especially if we can get these players in, like the big players in, then it'd be a special time.
It's probably the most exciting pre-season we've probably had under Klopp. I think even for a long period of time. I think the only one that could probably beat it is when we got Alisson in the summer, and none of us knew. We got
Van Dijk from the January, didn't we, as well? And I think getting Alisson in, to be fair, I think one of the most exciting ones that we had was these first full season. I think when we lost the Europa League final, when it was like, right, we've got this in plan now. And I think that was a really good pre-season. But I mean, Jack's looking forward to the season. Wait till game week 5, game week 6, and we're talking about 2 points from the first 5 games.
No, boys. If we get actual DMs and we actually have a midfield, boys, surprise, surprise. Well, Szoboszlai's just done a cannon 5 goals against Chelsea. We're shushing all the airs out Stamford Bridge faithful anyway. Yusuf's going to be crying in our chat as well. And we'll be like, boys, results quickly change the mood of the football club and a fan base as well. If we go on a run of 5-10 games like we did at the back of the season. Of course, we had a shock in 6 months, but if we can continue, remember when, I know it's quite different, but when we won that league, remember we finished strong at the back end of that season. Obviously a disappointment, and then fingers crossed, boys. But I think just depends massively who comes in next week.
I think that the last 22 games of the season, I think Liverpool have finished second. I think on points, which isn't bad when you look at it, but it's like, what on earth did we do for the first 6 months of the season?
No
It's
comment.
not bad. But yeah, let us know your guys' thoughts anyway in the chat. I think Ricky's in here as well.
Yeah, that's not me.
No, yeah.
It's Ricky when there's like 1 or 2 words or an emoji. Yeah, that's Rick.
Ricky, I want you to say Curtis Jones is bad in the comments.
Yeah,
The word I remember Jack said about that. The worst one I heard him do, done a watch along for Palace away a couple of years ago, and he said, we don't ever score from corners, and then Van Dijk scored from the corner, and it come up on the stats saying Liverpool scored the most goals from corners in the season. I was like, do your research.
That's like a
those that happened.
it was the old Spurs manager that did in the Liverpool's Tottenham game.
Oh yeah, Sherwood on
Yeah.
BT.
Tim Sherwood.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
I'm not really scared of this corner. Bang, Bobby Ed. It's like, get in. I absolutely love it. But could we go back in for Kone or Turami even, says Doug? No.
Kone's injured, isn't he?
Yeah,
6 weeks he's out for as well. It's almost like that was fate that happened, boys. If we actually were in negotiation, that is why you never buy a player in a tournament there and then. Because as much as we would have liked him, boys, but
FSG were watching that tournament closely as soon as they see France go out the quarters and England win the under-21. So see, we got Harvey Elliott, we got Curtis Jones. What else do we need?
Show me the money.
Or is it just slap a £60 million fee on Curtis Jones? Just like
Curtisio Jones Nino. That's who we've got now.
On that as well.
Jack, do you remember that photo that we made with the French moustache? That is Curtis Jones now.
Curtis Dino, that's how you know.
Curtis Dino.
Kimmich at his best would be awesome, but can't see it happening. No, I can't either. Brian. Anyway, good seeing you, Brian, as well. Valverde would be amazing, says Doug. Big up panel as well. Big up, mate. Valverde is a centre mid, though, Doug. If it's anyone from Madrid, it would be Tchouaméni as well. I've never seen us potentially losing so much big players in one go. Well, to be fair, we did all ask for a rebuild, and well, the rebuild happened. Obviously, a bit more than I think what we all expected, anyway. But Núñez will fly out of the blocks.
Gary's predicted 40 goals for Darwin Núñez this year.
Really?
I absolutely love it, Gary. I love it. Another name, sorry there, boys, that I'd like to add to the mix. He probably would, Luke, having obviously Bells as a supporter club in terms of Fulham. Paulinho, I know it'd cost a lot of money.
João Paulinho.
Yeah, João Paulinho. In terms of he did come in. I've just checked. It was his birthday on the 9th of July. He's only just turned 27. Oh, no, he's just turned 28, sorry. But I suppose I've just said that about Kimmich. I thought he was a bit more younger than that. Scrap that idea.
He's got 40. I was just going to say, on top of that, he's got 40. Like Rebecca's cousin.
Million, is it?
Rebecca's cousin, I talked to really well. He's a massive Fulham fan, and he's got 4 years left on his contract. If you want to pay 50 million, he's going nowhere.
Yeah, so scrap that idea, chap. But you never know.
But I'd like him.
He's an
unbelievable player. He was very good at Anfield when we played Fulham.
Yeah.
It makes you think again. It's like, why don't Liverpool take more risks in terms of again the Portuguese league? Like Matheus Núñez was linked for so long, probably 2-3 months before the end of the season, and it's like, well, why didn't we sign him 12 months earlier from Sporting? Same with Paulinho. Like, why didn't we sign him 12 months earlier? Like we did it with Darwin, we did it with Luis Diaz, but I feel like Liverpool need to do more of those type of signings where don't allow him to go to a Wolves or a Villa or someone like that.
Look what Brighton are doing, Con and Luke and Chas. Brighton are buying. I know there's more expectation when a player comes into Liverpool because we need to win every game, as we know. But like, there is value out there in the market, and that's what we've been lucky enough and fortunate enough for Liverpool in recent years. Is probably 90% of our deals have more or less being spot on. Obviously, you've got for every Naby and the odds 1 or 2 player that really, but like the fees as well. Like we've got these players at a reasonable fee as well, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, Doug, I didn't see you in the bottom. I will answer Doug right now. Doug, how are we?
All right, boys. I mean, I said a couple of weeks ago that I wanted a midfield rebuild, but I don't think we were kind of expecting what's happened today. I mean, everything's happening today. I've just been too busy to obviously come on pods to obviously do things, but yeah, bit of a mad day, has to be said.
Yeah.
It looks like he's ready for bed, mate.
I was going to say, he just risen from the bed. Hello.
Hello.
Can you turn your screen landscape?
Rotate your screen.
Yeah.
Your longwards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, give me 2 texts. Is it?
Have you, Jack? Don't you like it when it's like hard?
It really does my head in. Like, apologies.
Really?
Like, if I'm watching anyone's podcast as well, like, we live in the 21st century in terms of, like, especially if you want to edit your videos as well for any content creators out there, makes it much easier to edit when it's landscape as well.
Do you hate it when we leave gaps on the TikToks and the shorts where we leave like little gaps?
It's one of my major OCDs, like watching someone record like that way. I don't know. So it's not you, Doug. It's just me being weird. But
It's Jack. It's Jack. He's weird.
Yeah, of course.
You remind me with that top you're wearing. You remind me of someone like Suso or someone like that. Like looking at that.
Suso.
Yeah. Whenever I see that top, I always think of Suso.
No, here go Aspas.
I go Aspas. What the corner?
Was it that one? Was it Mohammed? Didn't we buy Mohammed Saidi in this kit as well? Remember him? Yeah.
No, didn't we buy him the year before?
I think,
we got Fabio Barini as well.
Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah.
Oh Christ! It was that season. Yeah.
Was it Europa League nights? This kit as well, was it?
Oh, Europa League nights. They were the
ones.
ones.
We didn't play Europa.
Oh no. Oh yeah, it was years. One of them we played.
No, one time I do remember that kit was when was it Gerrard who scored against United?
Oh yeah.
Where we lost 2-1, but like when he scored, that's one. Vaz just put Andre Wisdom.
Oh yeah, Andre Wisdom.
Fantastic.
Well.
What a shout!
Yeah, what a shout, man. Is he still playing now? As well, chat. You'll know.
He was at Derby for ages, wasn't he? But I'm not sure if he's.
Does he play in Australia now? I think.
I'm checking anyway.
Last time I heard, I think he was in Australia. But no, you were obviously speaking about like that kit. I remember, I think we had a Champions League group. I think we had Fiorentina, Ferencvaros, and I can't remember the other side, but we finished third, and we went to the Europa League.
Oh, was that the year where we lost out to Basel and was it that year?
That's right, Basel, yeah.
Basel, Real Madrid, and Ludo Goretz. That was it.
Was Salah in that team that slapped us?
No. Like so, that's it. That year where we confirmed the Champions League. That was when Balotelli scored his only goal for Liverpool from the penalty spot. No, he scored. He scored 1 or 2 goals. He scored a penalty.
It's like that chest, or like the when he done that as well.
Yeah, that was when Brendan Rodgers went to the Bernabeu and left Gerrard on the bench.
Oh, Christ.
Brilliant.
You generally look back at that and you're like, what on earth were we playing at? Like, the owners were just like, yeah, sound Brendan, go to the Bernabeu and play an absolute crap side.
Do you know what? I'm actually gonna search for that team that we started that night. That
was it? Mignolet, Moreno.
It was dreadful.
I'm looking at Wisdom in terms of his club. He's without a club currently, and he's only 30 though. He was at RB Salzburg. He joined Liverpool and then went to Salzburg, and then from Liverpool. It's a bit mad that.
Gerrard should get a band together or something over in
get Wisdom over there as well. Yeah,
mate. Get Wisdom. Get like who else can you get? Like Jordan Ibe. Get a band together.
He could have got Ryan Kent if he wanted to, but he's gone to
Ryan Kent.
Galatasaray, is it now? He's gone to.
Yeah, he has gone Galatasaray.
Yeah. I've got a funny wee thing to tell you actually. So not last season, but the season before that, Livingston were actually offered Jordan Ibe. Boy, I think he wanted something like 15k a week at Livingston, and like David Martindale was like, no chance we can afford you. But yeah, Jordan Ibe was actually offered to Livingston FC, which is quite mad. But someone told me that the other day. I was like, interesting.
David Amu, that's a name.
David Amu.
We actually played better at the Bernabeu, which is crazy, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's absolutely nightmare.
Luke, have you got that team up?
2 seconds, right? I'm trying to find somewhere with it. It's not letting me. It's not letting me do it. Hold on, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, Colo Torre got man of the match of the Bernabeu. Did he really? Jesus Christ, what a Liverpool team.
We've had some crackers, haven't we? I'll tell you that now.
Mane will join Gerrard and co as well at Saudi.
Yeah,
interesting.
Gary together.
That'll be interesting.
Liverpool 2.0 gonna take over.
But Bayern
Right,
are
here
just
we go.
desperate to get rid of him anyway.
I'm gonna read you out the match stats as well. So we had 4 shots on goal with 1 on target. Where Real Madrid had 27 shots in the game. So Real Madrid's team that day was Iker Casillas in goal, back 4 of Arbeloa, Marcelo, Ramos, and Varane. Then they had James Rodriguez, Isco, Toni Kroos, and Modric, and up top they had Benzema and Cristiano Ronaldo. Mate, their bench as well was Bale, Pepe, Keylor Navas, Javier Hernandez, Nacho, Toro, and Medran. And here we go. Liverpool starting 11.
And Liverpool.
Simon Mignolet in goal. Back 4 of Skirtle and Colo Torre. Moreno and Manquillo.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Midfield 3 of Lucas Leiva, Joe Allen, and Emre Can. And a front 3. You ready for this, boys? You ready for this? I'll go from what I'll do, I'll give you the bench, and then you've got to try and guess the front 3. So on the bench, you had Brad Jones, Glenn Johnson, Stevie Gerrard, Felipe Coutinho, Jordan Henderson, Raheem Sterling, and Mario Balotelli. Who was Liverpool's front 3 that night?
Bellini
through the middle.
Balotelli.
Lallana?
Lallana was on the left.
Freaking hell.
Who played on the right?
Markovic.
He had Lazar Markovic. He had an absolute. I was just going to say he had an absolute belter against Bournemouth in the League Cup, and you got to play against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. Fantastic.
Yeah, do you know what? That is honestly like just hearing that, it's just depression of how bad.
Could you imagine Twitter Spaces back then? Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
To be fair, Brendan Rodgers got it right though. We only lost 1-0, and in the home game we lost 3-1, and we played like Gerrard and everyone else. So.
Mr. David Brent himself, you know?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Was it David Beckham? David Beckham, freaking Brendan Rodgers masterclass. I don't know why.
He wishes he was Beckham, lad. Bloody hell.
I hope it's going Ricky Lambert as well. Yeah, Ricky Lambert was a part of that team as well.
He was so disappointing anyway, like coming to the club. At the time when I was a little kid anyway, I thought it was like, what sort of Scouser and that, but he was banging free kicks left, right and centre for Southampton, wasn't he? He was playing well for them.
I felt so sorry for him because I'm not being funny. We sold Luis Suarez and we brought in Ricky Lambert. I mean, I genuinely felt so sorry for him. Like, how must he be thinking? Like, right, I'm replacing Luis Suarez.
That whole summer though was weird. Like we talk about now, Liverpool being a bit weird in terms of midfielders and how many names were getting linked. But that summer was just a roller coaster. We went from Alexis Sanchez to Balotelli. To then we were looking at James Rodriguez at the time as well, and then it was I don't think we ended up signing a midfielder that time.
Was Alex Teixeira that season as well?
Teixeira, Alex Teixeira.
Yeah. I think he's still playing in the Liga NOS. I think he's still playing somewhere.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you where, but just going off some of those names though. Alex Teixeira was obviously the biggest one, I think, on deadline day. Do you remember when like Ian Ayre was chief executive or chairman or something like that?
Conor Playanka.
He's still trying to get that deal over the line at this
point. He flew out there, didn't he, to Shakhtar Donetsk? So he flew out to Donetsk and he met with like the president out there and everything. And Ian Ayre was like, "Oh yeah, we'll give you $1 million now, and then we'll give you the rest in add-ons." It's like you've just flown. Like, you're lucky you're coming back. Like,
that's right. It's like one of those when you do like it's a FIFA career mode when the manager just storms out in negotiations after a transfer offer as well. Like
FIFA career mode. Peter checks the best one, goes in negotiations with his headgear. Brilliant.
Come in prime and ready for battle on the negotiation.
Go on, lad.
But before we do head off anyway, I will quickly go around everyone as well. Of course, I know from everyone in terms of Fabinho and Jordan Henderson, do you think? Of course, I'll go around and ask everyone, but do you think that one or the other or both will leave? So will Hendo and Fabinho go? And who do you think the replacements will be around everyone? So again, it can be who you want. Of course, I know there's going to be different variations of answers. Of course, I will start with Doug, and then I'll work around that way. But Doug, do you think that both Hendo and Fabinho will go, and who do you think will replace them this summer?
I think Fabinho will go. I think the more Etifak are stalling the Henderson deal, I think Henderson will probably stay. So I think I'm going to go with Fabinho to leave and Hendo to stay. Lavia for me, I think, is the one that comes in. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head. I mean, I'll say Fabinho goes, Lavia comes in.
Okay. Luke, what do you think?
I think they both go. I think Steven Gerrard comes back. No, joking.
Swap deal for Gerrard.
Yeah, swap deal.
Oh,
Henderson's the manager. We bring back Jay Spearin. Yeah, I
He's
think
on
both.
the books.
Jay Spearin's behind you, Jack, and he on the wall.
Yeah. Some people call me Jay Spearin the size of me anyway. So.
I think both of them go. It was a comment I think I see earlier with Szoboszlai was a Henderson replacement. I reckon that could be that. I mean, knowing Liverpool. I think Doug's right. I do think Liverpool will go in for Lavia. I just can't see us at the moment. But there could be someone under the radar that we don't know about, that we've not spoke about. We know how Liverpool operate with their business. So I'm going to say yes, they both go. And I do believe we will bring in at least 2 more players to replace them both.
Okay. Jack, who are you going for?
I'm going to go, I'd echo what Luke just said. I anticipate Hendo and Fabinho to go. Players I'd like to see in. I still think we've got a big business. I'd say a centre half. I'd go Levi Caldwell or a Gvardio. I know it's quite big and ballsy, really, but Liverpool need to get proper business over the line for us to be competing and going into next summer. I'd mention Lavia as well, and I'd say another. You know what? I'll go Tchouaméni because I think, as we mentioned, I think Mbappe plays a massive role in any potential deals coming out of Real Madrid this summer. Probably might get done in January, but I think I'd love us to go for Tchouaméni or a Caicedo. But actually, no. I'll go Tchouaméni, a Lavia, and a Caldwell or a Gvardio. I know it's a bit mad.
Who's Caldwell?
It's Levi Caldwell, is it?
Colwell.
Coldslaw. I'd call him whatever.
Coldslaw.
As long as he's a very decent centre half, anyway, it doesn't matter what I call him.
Gary Caldwell, yeah.
Yeah, was it started calling him Gary Gillespie or something? That ex-Liverpool player. But
she just goes up for a head and just coleslaw.
Bang.
Gary Coleslaw. Plays for Livingston, didn't he, Doug?
What's that?
Gary Coleslaw plays for Livingston, didn't he?
Bang is a mash up top as well.
Pie man.
Gonna eat all that lad when I come down, lad.
That's prime.
Connor, what do you think?
Prime Brexit football, I think that is anyway. But
what pie and mash? Don't disrespect pie and mash, lad.
I'm not disrespecting.
When Jack comes down, the first place he's going is a pie mash up.
Oh, gravy. You were saying
gravy
weeks ago.
Oh,
what's that like? Is it like
you gotta have liquor?
Is it liquor? Like that?
You got to have liquor.
Thing that like liquor. Like
yeah, you got to have liquor. You got to have everything. You got to have the jelly deals. You got to have the chili vinegar. You got to have everything, mate.
I've already had my tea, but I'm starving.
I don't like jelly deals, but you got to have it.
Yeah,
got to try at least once, McKenna.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And then when he's tried it, I'll turn around and say, I've not tried it before. They're just horrible.
Then I'm stuck on Luke's boat for 2 hours after it.
But I'd agree with everyone. I think both of them will go. I think both Henderson and Fabinho will go. I think that again, it would be absolutely wonderful if Liverpool got Florentino Luis in for DM. And then personally, wouldn't mind if we just went for both Lavia and Louise, and then went for Caldwell for
Caldwell.
Caldwell.
Look what I've started now, chat.
There you go. Pronunciation police will have us for freaking days anyway with the amount of stuff.
I'll tell you what, Rick's fucked this season, so pronouncing Sabozlai.
Oh wait, can we discuss how he says Tushimeni? Tushu.
Touche, many.
Touche.
Rick is terrible when it comes to pronunciations. I remember when he was doing that when we was doing the short for when we announced the Sabozlai. He said, "Oh, do you want me to type it out?" I was like, "Well, you can if you want," and all that. And he was like, "Oh, I don't know how to spell it." I was like, "Well, just copy and paste it from somewhere. Like it's just easy, isn't it?" But he was proper trying to pronounce it, and I was like, "How's it pronounced?" And he went, "Oh, it's Sabozlai, but the Z's silent." I was like, "Oh, cheers, thanks."
Cheers, Jeff.
Cheers, Jeff.
Yeah, cheers, Jeff. But anyway, guys, let us know your guys' thoughts in the comments before we do head off for tonight. Anyway, of course, Gary going both are gone. Replacements. Thuram, Kone, and Barella into need the money as well. Of course, Jack absolutely love that.
They're getting Onana as well, United, aren't they? For 50 mil. They are. You're through there, Gary. They are skint. Well,
have you just quickly on Inter? Have you seen how I read something the other day about Inter Milan? They've got to sell all of their, or not all of them, but some of their players and make the amount of money by the end of next year. Otherwise, I think it's some Chinese consortium or something like that will take over of like majority of their club or something like that. I don't know how it's going to work out, but like they owe them so much money.
Bastoni as well. I should have really mentioned him for me centre half. I love him. He is probably my top centre half, really. But yeah, if they are skins, throw a 60-70 million pound bid in for them. Happily take him.
I think that consortium. I think they've put in is it 800 million? I think. For Inter as well, which is absolutely mental prices as well. But Hannah saying true, Wigs, but can't lie. I just wanted Thuram as well. Next player says Wigs. Scroll down so I can see everyone's comments. Saicedo, Wigs saying Saicedo, and Colwell will do me. Go away, Luke. Cheers, Jeff.
Cheers, Jeff.
If anyone knows in our group chat, you will know.
Oh, whenever Doug puts something in the group chat, I'm like, you just fell for it, lad. You just fell for it. Cheers, Jeff.
Cheers, Jeff.
I hate it with a passion. But obviously, a big thank you to everyone for tuning in to tonight's video, of course. Big thank you to the lads on the panel as well, of course. Jack on the Anfield Road TV, thank you very much for coming on. Have you got anything else to say before we do head off?
Nice one for having me on, mate. And man, good to speak to Doug and Luke as well, as always. And chat, it's busy 24, 48 hours for the Reds. We're all eagerly anticipating what's going to happen, and I'm excited, mate. I'm really excited. It's going to be a big couple of weeks for Liverpool, mate. But yeah, nice one for having me on, mate. Anfield Road TV on all socials and all that. Nice one.
Of course, we've got Luke from the 1892 Reds TV as well. Of course, back streaming now eventually.
So honestly, I'm actually kind of gutted because I wanted to do a lot more, but I was just busy. I thought Ricky might have, I thought Ricky might have, done a couple extra and gone, oh, don't worry, I'll do it, sort of thing. But to be fair, he has a couple of times, but we're hopefully going to try and do a few more if we can. But yeah, 1892 Reds TV. I think Ricky's live tomorrow actually. So yeah, guys, in the comments if you want to try and see if you'll pronounce the Sabozlai, and if Jack goes on and tries to pronounce Coldwell or Coldwell.
I'm just going to keep on calling them Coldslaw and people just to wind people up that haven't really tuned into tonight's episode, but it'll be our inside joke anyway. So
do you remember when we started calling Sadio Mane? And everyone got really annoyed about it.
Well, Klopp's calling McAllister Gary now, so that's it. He's literally come out today in his interview. He's like, there's new nicknames, Gary.
That's the point. Just before we look, congratulations to Jurgen Klopp as well. I didn't realise he's become a grandfather.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be amazing. I'll tell you what. Won't be too bad having him as a granddad, was it?
No. It would be perfect to be fair, as well. But Doug, thanks for coming on, mate, from the Decker Football channel. Have you got anything coming up or anything you've got to say before we do head off?
No, just actually, I do want to say this. Obviously, face to face. Happy anniversary, Luke. You and Rebecca, 10 years together.
God
So
help me.
obviously, hope you hope you had a good day yesterday. Yeah, I just thank you for having me, Connor. Yeah, sorry I was late as usual. Scotsman, always late. Yeah, I'm just I'm kind of sporadically doing streams right now. I'm actually meeting Neil from Beyond the 90 tomorrow because he's up in Edinburgh. So I said I was going to go and meet him tomorrow. So there's another content creator I'm meeting tomorrow, so that'll be good.
Enjoy that one.
Yeah, Neil's a good lad.
As well, and of course, obviously, guys, if anything does come out with the Fabinho or Jordan Henderson situation, of course, all of us will be live or doing some form of content around the club as well. Of course, obviously, hopefully tomorrow will be even more of a jam-packed news day than what it has been today. Anyway, of course, until then.
Sorry there, Con, just before we go off, I don't know if you've seen this. Fabrizio 7 minutes ago, negotiations between Fabinho and El Attiyad are taking place. Nothing done yet. No official bid has been sent to Liverpool at this stage. The player has been approached and he's a top priority for Nuno at El Ittihad. Deal still not advanced between the two clubs. That was 7 minutes ago from Fabrizio. So,
Cheers,
I think that's nice one. That's what a lot of the Saudi clubs are going to be doing now, innit? In terms of they only go in for the players after they know 100% that everything's been agreed. I think so. Should be good.
Let's quickly get that tweet out so people can see it.
Either that or I haven't rehashed my Twitter.
Connor, I dare you to change your Twitter name to Connor Romano.
I'm not doing that at all.
The biggest in the know.
I'm not doing that at all. I should probably try and get Fabrizio on for a stream, maybe. But of course, Fabrizio charges very high prices. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, he does.
Of course, he is obviously top dollar in terms of that. Anyway, of course, if StreamYard would like to load, then again, as you can see on the screen right now, anyway, of course, that's quickly make it bigger for you guys. Of course, that's what it says. But there, of course, obviously Jack just read it out for you guys. But yeah, again, Fabinho, I think it's very much now. Maybe we might hear in the morning, obviously a potential official bid potentially, but again, we will now just have to wait and see whether or not, of course, they do actually put a bid in. I think, look, what was the actual fee? I think 40 million was getting spoken about. Yeah. Again, I think Liverpool, would be willing to accept that, but then again, we will have to just wait and see on Liverpool's behalf anyway. But until next time, guys, so that's going to be it from us. I've been Connor from the Cup Council. We will see you all tomorrow at 9. And of course, if there is anything breaking, we will bring it a bit beforehand anyway. But until next time, see you all later.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Show me the money.
Cheers.